Okay, so a little story first. First of all, I've been doing this for over 14 years and it's not easier to read in front of people. I'm sorry to it doesn't get easier. So I wrote a short collection of letters before I even heard of this anthology called Letters to the Ones Who Left. And then when the submissions opened up for this anthology, I submitted one of them. So I'm going to read the one that made it into the anthology, and I'm also going to read the one after in my collection. Dear W. It's still difficult for me to look back and feel that anything between us had any closure. I can't say I ever saw it coming, although I should have. The signs were all there, but I wore tinted glasses of kinship, and I always thought we'd see it through. And then you were gone. The last time you said anything to me that had any meaning, I was lying in a hospital bed. I just had a C-section, my son bursting into the world with all the drama you always said I couldn't shake. And you held me in your arms and told me you were proud of me. You've never said anything like that before, and it meant the world to me. You were the brother of my heart, a man that wasn't committed to me by blood or marriage, who simply enjoyed my company. You've been there for everything, all the big events, everything that mattered. The last time I laid eyes on you was also at a hospital. You came, abandoned an important appointment because my son broke his arm. It was kind, but odd. We hadn't spoken about anything more important than a damn video game in nearly 3 years. You were around, but your presence had lost its depth, a drizzle after pouring rain. Even as I thanked you, I mourned your loss, because you weren't my best friend anymore, and I truly believed you would always be my brother. I know motherhood changed our friendship in the way that it always does and always will. I know you and I argued often, that I didn't always approve of the stunts you'd pull, and I never had the ability to hold my tongue. I expected more of you, like any older sister would, and I thought that family tie we both declared long ago would beat back those things, could keep us fighting like life at each other's side. But you faded, slowly but with intent. You disappeared. I've heard things about your life, and even though I know you don't still live here, I look for you every time I pass your old home, and I miss you. We may never speak again, but if this message somehow finds you, even though I no longer know how to find you, I hope it finds you well. I will always hate you for leaving me, but I will always love you. We were always more complex than we ever wanted to admit. Love always, Justine. I never believed that what we had was fragile enough to shatter as thoroughly and as quickly as it did. You were always someone I thought of in my periphery. You were close, but never quite touching, outside, but near enough to shout about the good to each other. You always seemed like you belonged inside. I just had to reach out and pull you across. And then I finally did. At first, it was perfect. You were the perfect partner in crime. Someone who wanted the things in life I wanted with the same single-minded ferocity that others I knew didn't possess. Art is ephemeral. You grasp for it, but never quite succeed. And it was in that grasping that I believed I had a kindred spirit standing by my side. But then I caught hold of all I'd been grasping for, or at least for a moment I believed I had. And while I wished to pull you up beside me, you begrudged me what I had earned. You hated me for succeeding where you had barely tried yet. It took me years to grab hold of something just to have it slip through my fingers, and you had barely stuck your fingers in the air and reached. I wanted you to grab it as well, but you thought the only way to do that was to push me out of the way, and I'll never understand it. I was your greatest champion. I still absolutely love everything you create, and even as now I watch through streaked and dirtied windows. I believed this was something more sturdy than it was. Believed we were made of steel when we were made of the finest glass, shattered the moment we encountered a sharp edge. You pushed me out, but in hindsight, the door needed to be slammed and locked. I still want you to succeed, just never at the expense of myself. Nobody gets to do anything at my expense, not anymore. Right. But may the writing God always smile upon you, Justine.